Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'll be bringing you a review on some great 1/6 scale custom weaponry that's been made for me by one Mr. James Hodds on Facebook. That's James and then Hodds, Hodds. That's how you find him on Facebook. Based in the UK, great guy. He's done me some weapons in the past. One of them here for the Sideshow Jason. That's real metal blade, real wooden handle, and just sets him off a treat. I did some little custom bits of work here and there on this guy, a bit of real weathering with the real mud and the muddy water from the back garden kind of brushed into his clothing just to give him, the real dirt and grime look. Put a bit of gloss on his hockey mask because usually that mask looks quite shiny to me. So it was very kind of like a matte finish when Sideshow brought it. So go ahead and do that. That's him looking good. And one of the weapons I got off him recently was the meat cleaver here, which is obviously being held by the Purple Coat Joker by Hot Toys. You could have anyone holding that really, but I'll just give it to him for the moment. He seems to like it. There's hammer there as well as a second option if he needs to bust some heads. But yeah, really, really good work on this. Do love the meat cleaver. Really nice weight to it. Really good work. Just really well done. See there? All the little details are accurate. And here is the most recent batch of 1/6 scale weapons from Mr. Hodds. Now, improvements have been made. Now, that's the first version that he attempted to do of a Michael Myers knife. This one right here. Now, some of you out there, the experts, the people in the know, will recognize this blade is a little bit long. It's a little bit of a narrow kind of kitchen knife. I mean, it is very, very, very close. And maybe in some other Halloween movie, Michael Myers did have a knife that was exactly these kind of dimensions. But then he made improvements. I mean, you can see here, this is much, much closer to the 78 Lancer. The only thing I will say as far as improvements that need to be made still to these pieces, if you want to make it all the way 100% accurate, you need to figure out a way to get that kind of little transition line here. See, this is the 3-0 Halloween Part 6, the Curse of Michael Myers figure. This is one of the knives that came with him. Real metal all the way through, but the handle was actually painted black. And from various times of changing out this knife into different hands, you can see on the handle there the way some of the paint is starting to come away, and I'm going to have to fix that now myself. So the good thing about getting your knives from James, he does the real metal blades with the real kind of mahogany handles and the gold studs, so you wouldn't get any issues with paint coming off the handle because it is all what it is. It's made from the real stuff. And as you can see, just really, really fine work. But if James can find us a way to add this line to the 78 Lancer kind of replicas, because the big life-size Myers I have, he's holding a replica Lancer from the 78 film, and you can see if you can make it out, he does have that little, where's my finger? There it is. That little line that goes down to transition between the handle and the blade itself. That's the only thing, really. I do have one of his latest knives in the Perfect 78 hand here. Much improved, getting closer and closer every time. Really, really nice. And just in case you're wondering, Mr. Joe Turner on Facebook does these decals for me. Really, really nice. You can pretty much get any design you want. Just makes everything display that much nicer. This blade here is the other knife that you get with the 3-0 Michael Myers from Part 6. That was a bloody knife, but I added even more blood, toothbrush, red paint, just kind of sprayed the bristles on there so that you get that really kind of cool blood spray effect. So I'll probably keep him holding that one. Oh, and he did this first of its kind for him, a prototype, first version, 1/4 scale sort of Myers knife. The handle is exceptionally well done. He used a different type of wood with this one. The only thing I would say, and James already knows this because he did mention in the email that improvements probably do need to be made to this because he did it just sort of by eye. He didn't have anything to reference to sort of copy the dimensions for a 1/4 scale knife. It was his first attempt and he just did it on the fly quickly. You can see it's a little bit chodish. That's the word I'm going to go with, the chode. Some of you will know what that is, others won't. But it just means it's a little bit stumpy. The handle is perfect. The way the blade starts and the way it carries on here, like if you couldn't see where it carries on and you just see this much, that is absolutely, scrumptious. It's lovely. But it just stops too soon and needs to carry on and maybe end where my finger begins there. So quite a little bit of an extension on the blade itself. Also, I tried to get it in this hand earlier, and let me just put a pause in. This is the 1/4 scale Rob Zombie Myers from the first Rob Zombie film in Halloween 2007. Well, I did it. Okay. Well, I thought it was going to fall over. Okay. So here is the NECA version. I have repainted this a little bit with some chrome silver spray just to kind of make it look better. Has not worked out at all. It just doesn't look good. So we'll try Mr. James Hodds' new knife here. And the thing I did find is the handle needs to be thickened up because it just doesn't really fit. It's really loose. You can get it to balance there, but it needs to be thicker in order to fit in a 1/4 scale figure's hand, at least this figure or even that one over there. And as I said, the blade just needs to be longer. So thicker handle. If you can do this little transition line here on the knives, I think they all pretty much have that. I'm not sure how easy that's going to be to do, but it's just it kind of just rests there. It's not really being held by the hand at all. But very, very cool. I mean, I'm going to use it for something, that's for damn sure. And yeah, it's really, really awesome knives. Get a good look. I love how clean this is. It's perfect. The little gold studs, again, perfect. Very sharp. You know, not just sharp at the tip, but sharp underneath here as well. Everywhere. I mean, couldn't keep this anywhere near your little kiddies or anything. And these little leaves, they're just temporary. I just tried to make something just to kind of display on this little base that I customized myself. It's an old DX11 Joker Hot Toys base. Got this kind of fake grass stuff. Oh, and here's an old knife. I think One Customs made this back in the day. Very, very good blood work on that. Look at that. That is amazing. The handle, not so much, especially with the three just little blobs of silver paint. But, you know, you don't see that when it's in his hand, really. Maybe that was the thinking behind that. But the actual blade that's showing and the blood work, I haven't really seen better blood work than that. Yeah, really, really good. Also very proud of the blood work I did on this one. Look at that. Looks like it's a fresh kill. It's still like it's wet and dripping. Look at that. Nice. Yeah, I've been doing some repainting on this set of coveralls here. Put a slight head tilt in. That's the latest version of the Nightmare Halloween 2 sequence. Michael Myers head sculpt by One's Customs. Coveralls by David Tucker, C Creations. They're pretty much still the way that he gave them to me. I've just been adding little layers of grime and dirt and paint to him. And did the back as well. And turn him around because you get a good look at his back in Halloween 2 and the nightmare sequence in the hospital when he's standing over that poor nurse. So I kind of copied the amount of dark and grime that's in the sort of between his shoulders. So they're really bloody, really nasty. Very, very cool. All right. So, just to be absolutely clear, that is the prototype, first of its kind from James Hodds, 1/4 scale Myers knife. And I'm sure improvements will be made to this in the next attempt. These are the 1/6 scale 78. Well, he didn't exactly specify that he was going for the 78 exactly design, but I think that's kind of what was in his mind. I think maybe I might have mentioned that when I was talking to him a while back, if he could try and perfect the old 78 Lancer. But he's certainly getting there, man. I mean, this would do anyone's custom Michael Myers figure. That would do you absolutely fine. And the price is very reasonable. So, there you go. I'm going to have to go and repaint my 3-0 handle now because the paint's chipping away. It's a bit annoying. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll bring you some more soon. Don't forget, contact James Hodds on Facebook. James and Hodds, Hodds. And he doesn't just make, meat cleavers and knives and machetes. He can also do axes and various other weapons as well. And like I said, he's very reasonable and great to deal with. So go ahead, check him out. At least start talking to the dude on Facebook, and you never know what he might be able to whip up for you. All right. I'll see you guys real soon. Thanks for watching. Just waiting for the 2 1/4 scale Batman and Joker figures to come out from Hot Toys, and I'll review them, and the Themyscira training version of Wonder Woman, waiting for that too to be released. But yeah, stick with me. I'll see you real soon. Thanks for watching.